Jason's over there doing this thing, making sure we can bring you a word this morning. And this is our first time back since the holidays, and we've updated some equipment and some things like that that's been um, uh, blessed me with. And I want to thank all of my partners for helping me. And God bless you. Let me bring a quick word this morning. I believe it'll be a blessing to you. In Isaiah chapter 6. Uh, and I have my Bible. If you have your phone, you can grab it and go there if you want to. Isaiah chapter 6, verse 1. Uh, we get some insight as to what uh, Isaiah is seeing from the Lord. And if there's ever a time that we, as children of God, need to see the Lord, that time is now. And this is what he says. Isaiah chapter 6, verse 1, he says, in the year that King Uzziah died, he said, I saw the Lord. And, you know, he says, everything around me is dying. And, you know, I hear people talk today that everything seems to be dying, Pastor. America, as I grew up in it, is no longer the same. America is dying. The world is dying. People are dying. And what are we going to do? And it seems like death is just everywhere we look. Not literally in so many aspects, but figuratively. We see things that we once held precious to us being taken from us, whether it's the freedom of right, freedom of speech, whatever. And so many things seem to be dying. And Isaiah says something very powerful. He says, in the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord. So everything around Isaiah is dying, but he still saw the Lord. And I need to tell you that in this day in which we're living, 2021, we have a big day coming up tomorrow. There's going to be a presidential transition. And it's not the end of the world, folks. It may be death to you, but it's not the end of the world. It may not be what you voted for. It's not the end of the world. And so when Isaiah said, I saw the Lord in the year King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord, he's telling you that when everything seems to be dying around you, you still can see the Lord. And that ought to encourage you. And because when things are crumbling around you, you know, people notice when we're going through difficult times. But when things are crumbling, this world needs to see that we can still hold on to Jesus. Because when the world has everything crumbling around them and they don't even have Christ, we're supposed to show them what Christ can do for them when things are crumbling around them. He saw the Lord, and notice where he saw the Lord. He said, I saw him high and lifted up, sitting on his throne. And I need to tell you, God is still on his throne today. If you're sick in your body, God is still on the throne. If your finances, like so many of ours, has gone crazy, 2020 Corona and 2021 is not going to be any drastic improvement just anytime soon. Finances have taken a hit. To the pastors who draws their salary from the church, and the church took a hit where their personal finances took a hit, and now pastors are having to do so many different things to recoup some of their loss to feed their family. And so all of this is crumbling around everybody. You know, so when you're having things crumble around you, you still need to be able to see the Lord sitting on his throne, and you need to see him high and lifted up. But notice something, because this is the important part I want to get to. The Bible said, Isaiah said, and the train, he was high and lifted up on his throne, and the train of his robe filled the temple. Now, I've used this example before, but a robe for a king, the king of Israel, or whatever king, the kingly robe was a long robe because it had attached to it the garments of other kings that they had defeated in war. For an example, the king of Israel would go to war with the king of the Midianites, and Israel would defeat the Midianites. Well, the king of Israel would take garments of the kingly garments, and he would take those kingly garments and would sew them and attach them to his kingly robe. So if you had a king robe that was long, it was symbolic of the fact that that king had a lot of victories. And so what I need you to understand is that this king has so many. When you look at the Lord high on his throne, Isaiah said his robe, his train couldn't even get into the temple. Why? Because our God is a God of victory. And his train could not even get in the temple. In other words, anytime you're in a battle and God gives you the victory, he takes a piece off the devil's garment and he sews it onto his garment, and he says, look at me, I am your sitting king. I'm still on my throne. Come on, somebody. And I've healed your body. And he took some of that garment off the devil's robe, sewed it onto his robe, and said, I am the God that healeth thee. Every time you've been in a battle, every time God has given you victory, his robe has enlarged, because he wants you to understand, I'm still the Lord. I'm still in charge. I'm still on the throne. I'm not going anywhere. And I want you to know that no matter what battle you face, I'm going to wind up cutting the garments off the devil, and we're going to sew them onto my garment, and I'm going to let you know and everybody around you know that I am your God. Come on, that's good shouting material right there. So be encouraged today that no matter what's crumbling around you, your God is still on the throne, and he's going to give you victory today. I love you so much. So glad to be back in front of this camera, and thank you to Brother Jason over here, about to go to work, and he always makes time for his pastor to come in and share this little word. And you're going to see this on the church website. You're going to see this on Ron Smith Media Ministries website, and you can go to my personal webpage, drronsmithministries.com. And check it out. It's new, and we're building it, and we haven't got it finished yet. And David Pickard and Jason are doing so much to help me get some preaching and some teaching material on there, so you can come, go and be blessed. And we'll give you more information about that later. I love you. Have a blessed day today. Leave me a comment now if you enjoyed this word, because God's going to cut the devil's garments up today. Amen. And he's going to come onto his robe. He's going to give you victory. I love you. God bless you.